What's up YouTube? Today I wanted to show you the basic Memento combos that I'm using lately without the Horn Dragon, because in the past I always played Horn Dragon and the combos were a little bit different there. So I'll just, in my opinion, I didn't need to make a combo video because there are enough combo guides on YouTube, and especially on my channel. I think I got like 5 or 6 combo guides with basic combos on Memento, but there were so many people asking me in the comments or texting me on Discord or something else. By the way, if you want to join my Discord, there's a link in the description, as well as my Twitter link for if you want to like follow me there. So I'm just gonna show some basic combos because everyone asked. I'll try to always show you multiple lines in one combo. You can go, for example, one line that's safer, but the other line is riskier, but you get rewarded for it. So yeah, let's just start with the Dark Blade combo, because this is the first one where there's a difference if you want to play safe or risky. So this obviously starts out by normal summoning Dark Blade to use the effect, special summon Anguish, and then Anguish is gonna grab you Tatsu. You can also get Sleepy here, but you always want to go Creation King first if you get Fuvad on the fusion or Sleepy effect. So you special summon Tatsu here. Tatsu is gonna send you 3 names, which are these 3, and Anguish is just gonna reborn Mace. And Mace will then grab you the fusion. And then you use fusion to summon Creation King, and you mostly shuffle back names you already used. And try to always shuffle back Mace to add it later, either with Anguish if you haven't used it, or with Twin Dragon. So now the Creation King triggers, sending another copy of Creation King, and Akihiron, and the Gedik obviously. And then Gedik is gonna trigger to summon itself and grab back the Sleepy. So before you summon Sleepy, you can, you first of all use the Creation King to activate spell. My bad. And there are 2 things here, right? You can use the fusion to add Bone Party to protect yourself from Nibiru. But the problem is, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna show both combos, as I said, lol, to show you the difference. So you now special Sleepy here, use those 2 as material to summon Twin. Twin effect will get you to Mace and Combined, and then you can reborn 3 monsters to Akihiron, Field Spell, and Twin Dragon. And now you're at this point, right? So what you can do here is then you use fusion, pop the Akihiron to add a Bone Party, and then Akihiron will grab you the fusion, and now you can use Bone Party, pop this to summon anything that's not in graveyard. Let's just say a Dark Blade. So now you link those 2 off for an Herald, and those 2 off for SP, right? And then you can summon Combined by shuffling back 5 names, which are those 5 always in this combo. And that's it. The Bone Party is supposed to be in graveyard, but it doesn't matter because it comes back in the end phase anyways. And this is your board if you play it like this. The difference is, if you use the fusion early, if you use the fusion late in the combo, like I did in this way, you hardly play into nip. If you special Sleepy and use Sleepy and you get nipped here, it's over, right? For the 1-card combo. And in 2025, you want to play around nip in a 1-card combo always. So let's just rewind it, and I'll show you what you can do otherwise. So this is here, as well as this is engraved with the Anguish. The Goblin is engraved, as well as the... Oh yeah, you can just... wait, I'm stupid. Oh yeah, the Sleepy is engraved as well. So this is your graveyard right now. You shuffled back Mace, Tatsu, and Darkblade, and you use the Creation King now, sending 1, 2, 3 cards. Special summon, grab back. This is gonna banish. Oh, you cannot see the graveyard, my bad. I'm just gonna... So, like this, right? And then... Oh yeah, this is engraved. This is in your hand, my bad. And the field spell comes to hand by the Creation King. So if you want to play around Nip, especially in a game 1 scenario where you don't know if your opponent plays hand traps, and if they play hand trap, do they play Nip? You don't want to risk it, right? So you go Fusion here first. Pop. And then you are just gonna add a Bone Party. You can reborn Acheron here, but it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Or what you can let's try something I never did. So you summon it down. Now you got the Bone Party, so you're playing around Nip here. You just use those two as material and go into Twin. This is development, by the way, right now what I'm doing. So you use Twin. You can theoretically you use whatever you pop. You will see that there's missing bodies. So for example, we pop the Acheron for some reason. Add those two back, the field spell triggers and the Acheron triggers. We get the fusion back, as well as the Goblin. And now, let's say we're gonna use the Goblin, pop this, send 2 names, doesn't really matter, it's just for showcase. And then Twin Dragon will reborn this, and then you can use Bone Party, pop this, summon another name. As you notice, there's 1 body missing. You got 3 on board. And this is the problem with the Darkblade combo if you don't play Horned Dragon. If you want to play it safe through Nibiru, you cannot go for Herald, SP, Mace in the hand, like the board I just showed you first. So the 1/1 card doesn't do it. If you, for example, got a Bone Party hard draw or anything hard draw that extends, you obviously can play into Nip if you can extend after it. So this works, but these 1/1 card combo safely does not do it without Horn, because normally in this combo, instead of Mace, you just add a Horned Dragon, and then in the opponent's turn, add the Mace with Anguish, which also works. You can just then, on the first interaction, summon Anguish, add Mace, which worked before, right? So if you want to play it safe, play it like this. And then in this scenario, by the way, you don't special a name, obviously, because you cannot do anything with 3. You just add either a Sleepy or a second Goblin for protection or as an interruption, or to already have it in rotation. And then you just go SP with those 2 to play around it, because if you then go Herald and then summon the combined creation, the whole play around Nibiru thing was completely useless. So this is the problem with the Darkblade combo, right? If you get it. Same goes for Sleepy, by the way. Sleepy Goblin. If you want to play it safe, doesn't work. If you want to play it risky, it works. But I'm just gonna show you later. So next combo, but this is only because you don't play Horned, right? But to be honest, just before you think about, I want to go Herald. Herald is so important. This card is not that crazy needed as you may think. The Herald is nice because you can negate board breaker like Talons, Thrust, or incredible engine cards like the one of Obedience Schooled, or important cards like Mitsurugi Ritual. So that's the reason for Herald. Also, it protects your board a little bit for breakers, as I said, but it's not 100% needed. Like, if you get Fuwad, you never build this card. If you get interrupted hardly, like let's say 2 or 3 hand traps, and you still can somehow combo, you never go into this. And with this card not on your end board, what you can do is you not play to stop your opponent, like a little bit. You go Creation King, pop something, or you summon the Guardian Chimera with the fusion. But you can just, if you noticed, like you need to analyze the game set a little bit. If you notice that your opponent will play through all your interruptions, just play to survive. You just use all cards that summon bodies in defense position, try to survive, and if you survive, you win, because you can grind as hell. You probably outgrind any deck in the game, so that's the reason for it, right? You don't really need the Herald to 100% win the game. So next combo is the Anguish combo. In this combo, it doesn't really matter if you play around Nip, because for this card, both ways work. You don't need to play risky, because the safe version also can go Herald SP. So I just already started the combo. You just send the 3 standard names. Reborn the Maze, Maze effect, grab the Fusion, and then you use Fusion, shuffle back those 3 for Creation King, obviously, and then you send the Creation King, Agaddic, and Yakihiron. And then you go Gaddic Reborn, add Sleepy, Creation King to search, the field spell. And then you can use the field spell. And here you just to play around Nip as I showed you in the other combo. At the Bone Party, special Sleepy, and if you get nipped here, it's not that problematic. So you just fuse those 2 off, go into Twin, and then Twin effect triggers to add 2 names, which is Mace and 2 different names, by the way, and combine. But to be honest, I would never, like, there's no world where you add 2 times the same name, even if you could. Channing 1 is the field spell, Channing 2 is the Twin Dragon, and Channing 3 is the Akiron. Always put this not in the last chain, just so your opponent doesn't ogre it. For example, if they kept the ogre in hand until this point for some reason, so just do it like this. And then you get the 3 names out, all in defense. And then you can use the Bone Party, pop the Combined, to summon out the Dark Blade. Obviously, if you get nipped here, it still hurts, but you got everything in rotation, right? So it's not that bad. And you already got enough names, so you don't really care. What you do here is you got Blade effect, pop the Akihiron, summon a Witch, Akihiron will grab back the Fusion. And then you can just simply link those 2 for the Herald, and those 2 for an SP. And then you summon out the Combined, got the spell, and again you got the same 5 names you can shuffle back. And the 3 important names are in graveyard. This is your go-to graveyard you want to have in the end phase, because you got a Reborn to protect yourself from damage. You got the best Reborn target for the field spell if you didn't Reborn it with the Combined, and you got an Anguish to search literally anything you need, either as follow-up or as interruption. So yeah, that's for the Anguish combo. In this combo you don't really need to play into Nip, because as you saw, even the save line gets like everything you need. So yeah, just go for the Tatsu combo. Tatsu combo is pretty simple and also ends on everything. So you just go on special Tatsu, Tatsu pop itself, you send Sleepy and Gaddic. Gaddic will trigger the special summon and grab back Sleepy. Summon Sleepy, fuse those 2 off for a Twin triggers to search for Darkblade and Combined. The reason to search Darkblade is if you get rolled here, this is the most versatile card you can add here, because if you search Anguish here and your opponent rolls you, you just fucked up the combo. Same for Maze, same for basically everything. So you now Reborn the Sleepy, and you normal summon the Darkblade, and then you go Darkblade effect, pop Sleepy, and summon a Maze. So what you can do, you could theoretically also summon an Anguish, but the thing is, you want to do is you want in the end phase obviously the Maze in hand again, right? So you either don't summon it here and keep it off, but the best way is just to summon it here. And if there's the if again, if you want to play safe, you send a Fusion here with the Sleepy. Just so if you get nipped, you use this, pop the nip token, and then you can go into search Bone Party, pop the Combined, and yeah. Or like even, I don't know, using Fusion to search Fusion for some reason. So what you do here, but let's just dump an Anguish, sorry. And then you go Maze effect, pop itself, and search a Fusion. Actually, no, not Anguish. I'm stupid. I was one step ahead. You obviously send a Goblin. And then Maze will grab the Fusion. And then you go Fusion. Shuffle back 3 names. I would also always recommend to shuffle back As I said, names you already used, just those 3, and always shuffle back the mace. Go for Creation King, dump a second Creation King. I'm always like pushing the graveyard out of like the video. And then here you already send it 2, so you can basically send another card, which can be any name you want. Let's just dump a a Tatsu, because we can. Because Tatsu is not a mutation, that's the reason for it. The fusion goes to grave, and you're just gonna add the Creation King, the field spell with the Creation King. And then you activate it. And now you're going fusion. If your opponent nips here, you don't care, because you can pop the nip token, and then with Bone Party, pop the combined, so that the rest triggers still. So you now here pop the Dark Blade. What you pop here doesn't really matter, but you will link this off anyways. So you just go add Bone Party here. You can trigger the Akihiron and Feed Spell already to reborn those. And then you go Bone Party, pop this to summon out Anguish. And then Anguish triggers to reborn the Goblin. First of all, it triggers to add mace, my bad. And then you're gonna use the Anguish to reborn a Goblin by popping the Akihiron. And then Akihiron will get back the fusion. And obviously, again, this is one of the points where you can get nipped. So basically that's the reason for not dumping. If you dump a fusion, you got 2 fusions, but you just play a little bit safer. But you will see that we dumped with the Creation King a Tatsu, and with the Sleepy we dumped the Goblin. You could just do it other way around, like you go Sleepy, dump a fusion, and then this dumps a Goblin, and then the Tatsu is not needed. So let's say we didn't dump a Tatsu, and there is a fusion. So you can still link those 2 off for Herald, and those 2 for SP. And you will still got enough names for your combined creation, right? In this scenario, you only need to shuffle back 1 of the all-important 3. I always recommend to shuffle back the Anguish, because those 2 are more important, and this one can get Bastilled if you play against a deck with Bastilles. So, oh yeah, the end board, obviously. You shuffle back, this is banished. You shuffle back those 5. This is your hand, right? This is your grave. This is in grave. And you summon back the combined. You set the fusion. And in end phase, you can get the Bone Party back. And as you see, this is just the same board. The only difference is that there's a fusion in grave. And you don't really need to use the fusion you sent with Sleepy early, just because if you get nipped, you just pop the nip token and then pop the combined in hand to play further, so it doesn't really matter at this point. So this combo doesn't need any changes. So let's just go to the Goblin combo. So for Goblin, you obviously need to normal summon it, and you can do 2 ways. Just straight in the beginning. Way 1 is you go Gatic Fusion, or you go Gatic Sleepy. And you probably already know, if you listen to me the past couple minutes, that sending a Sleepy here is more risky. You want a fusion engrave. So, for example, if you have another name, let's just pick the worst name you can have in hand, because it does nothing. Where is it? There. Let's say you summon out the Gatic, and for some reason, your opponent here, you send it a Sleepy. Veilus this. Not the Goblin, this. You just pass, right? If you send this, not. The reason why I'll tell you this is because this happened to me. I normal Goblin effect, send it Gatic and Sleepy, and I just got Veilered on the Gatic. So, it was, I don't know, it was like a month ago, but it happened to me, and that's why I recommend you to always do this. I am doing this for a month now, and it's literally the same. So you grab back the fusion with Gatic, and then you go fusion into Creation King. Not Creation King, oh my god, Twin Dragon. And then Twin Dragon will add you 2 names, which is obviously combined. And now you need a Actually, no, you can just go Akiran. Oh, basically what you add here doesn't matter. You just need Sleepy plus name. Because whatever you add here will get sent to the graveyard anyways, because you're now reborn the Gaddick. This is engrave, we're not cheating. And then you special Sleepy, and then Sleepy will fusion summon into Creation King. And then Creation King will trigger to dump Akihiron. We already used Gaddick, so we need a way to we need a third target, right? So you just send a name that's not in graveyard. It just depends on you what you send you, because Anguish will later be summoned out of Darkblade, which we summoned with Bone Party. So you can just send anything. The problem if you send Goblin to reborn it is that you will not be able to what's it called? Use the effect. So you probably would rather just send a Tatsu. The thing with the Goblin combo is you never start with Goblin, only when you have to, right? If you have, doesn't matter which normal summon you have, you never start with Goblin. If you got Anguish Goblin, you start with Anguish. If you got Darkblade Goblin, you start with Darkblade. Even if this one plays a little bit better in the Fuva, but this is the worst normal summon by far, right? So you just go like this. And then the Field Spell trigger to add the Creation King will trigger to add the Field Spell. And now you go Fusion. And if you get nipped here, the problem is that nothing will reborn. But you pop the nip token and still get the Bone Party. And you then add the Bone Party, but you still, as you can see, there are 6 names in rotation. So basically you shuffle back everything except the Creation King or Archeron, depends on you. And then you end on this. But this is the only way how to do it, right? So you pop this, add Bone Party, you got Chaining 1, Chaining 2 Akihiron. You reborn this and this. And then actually no, we just still send a thingy, a Goblin. And now you no, not Goblin, not Goblin. We sent a Anguish. I was just fumbling this part. Actually, we didn't use this. I'm stupid. I'm tired. Sorry. So you reborn the Darkblade, and then you go Darkblade effect. Pop this. Summon Anguish, and then Anguish effect. We'll grab you the mace, and you will already notice again that you will not be able to go into. They're missing bodies, right? So what you could also do is, instead of sending the combined, is you send a maze. For example, when you got the fusion hard draw, you send a maze and then re-add the maze with Akihiron, and then to add the combined to then pop it with the Bone Party. But if you got a fusion hard draw, the whole combo changes. So we're just gonna talk about the 1/1 card combo. So what you can do now is you use the Anguish to reborn the Gaddick. And then use Bone Party. Like, let's just say pop maze. Oh, by the way, you know, yeah, exactly, the fusion conflict. Sorry, German slipped out. And the thing is, if you summon anything here, it doesn't get you anywhere, right? So you got 3 names again, because there's no Horn Dragon in the list. So that's the part with this one. You have a 4-body problem, you could say, for the fourth body for the Herald plus SP. But I guess you can solve it by just playing a little bit riskier with sending Gaddick on Sleepy. But this is the safest way, and you would rather end on SP plus combined by playing safe than end on Herald plus SP to get nipped, right? So that's the thing, right? So yeah, sorry, I was just a little bit stuck in my head. So instead of summoning, you just add it with the party, and then you just link those 2 off for SP. If you know your opponent doesn't play SP, you can just it doesn't play SP, it doesn't play Nibiru for some reasons. If the reason is you know the deck list, it's a friend of yours, or somebody told you, like then you can just go Herald instead of SP. and just summon out creation, and there's enough name, right? You got 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can also summon, shuffle back the Goblin from hand. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's for the Goblin combo. Let's just quickly go into the last 1-card combo, which is the Sleepy. It's not a 1-card combo; it's a 1.5 card combo, but I think I'll still want to show it to you, because it's pretty important to know. So the thing is, the Sleepy combo really depends what your hand is, what your second name is. If your second name is one of, so we need to like think that the second name is none of those 4, because those 4 are starters. In some scenarios, you can still, if you start with those, you can still start by summoning Sleepy. For example, you got this combination. The reason to start with Sleepy here is if you want to bait out Fuva because you got Ash, like both siding especially, or if you got a Bone Party or a Breakout to dodge it. So you cannot Ash this, right? So that's the reason for normaling Sleepy here. The best or the funniest way is if you open Gaddick and Sleepy, you just normal Sleepy, and if you got a third name, you can just go Creation King and Chain Block it, which is the most based thing you can do in this whole deck. But let's just say, because this combo is also pretty good, because this is already in your graveyard, by the way, because then you can, with Twin Dragon, after using Twin Dragon to add 2, you can just summon those 2 monsters. So the body problem in the end of a combo with Herald and SP is not existent. So what you wanna like do is you grab your worst name, which is combined. You can also say this is the worst name to open, but this is a 1-card combo and just combined. But this is this in a 1.5 card combo. This plus any Memento name is also combo. So even your bricks does something, even if this is not considered a brick for me. But yeah, let's just say you open Sleepy and combined. You just obviously normal Sleepy effects. Go into Twin, and then you trigger Twin to grab your Tatsu and literally any name you want. You could already add Maze here, but you can also grab a Sleepy because you haven't used the special summon effect, right? But it doesn't really matter. So you reborn the Sleepy, which is important. Use special Tatsu, and then go Tatsu effect. Actually, you know what? Let's just say you had Maze in hand, because I already told you always want this in your hand, not in graveyard. So let's just say it's in graveyard, and we, instead of the Maze, added the combined. So you go special Tatsu effect, pop the Sleepy, and then you send Gaddick and just Anguish. Oh no, you can't. Just Gaddick and Goblin. And then Sleepy triggers as chaining 1 and Gaddick triggers as chaining 2. You summon the Gaddick and send a fusion. And then Gaddick will trigger to re-add fusion. And then you now go fusion to shuffle back 3 names, which are these 3. So that's the reason why it doesn't matter if you open the Maze or the combined in this combination, because you will just get the other one anyways. Just summon Creation King will obviously dump you. Creation King, a Akihiron, and now a name you did not use, which in this scenario can be Darkblade, it can be Anguish, or like anything you want engrave. So let's just dump a Darkblade, because Darkblade is always 2 names. And then you go fusion, pop the Creation King to, oh no, my bad, you first go Creation King, I was again 1 step ahead. By the way, this still doesn't really matter, the combo, the order in which you do. So you now use the fusion, pop the Creation King, and then you can use the Field Spell and the Acheron to summon both. And you now can go Darkblade. And this is basically the best combo, Sleepy plus name, because as you see, you are at this point and you still got Bone Party in hand. So if you get nipped here, like you use Dark Blade effect, your opponent chain dips, you just go Bone Party, pop this, add something, Akiran triggers. So you go Dark Blade. That's why I placed triple Sleepy, because Sleepy is the best starter. You summon out Anguish, you go chaining 1 Akiran target, chaining 2 Anguish, grab back Diffusion and add a Mace. And then you can go Anguish, rebond the Goblin by popping anything. And then you link those 2 off for Herald. And those 2 you link off for SP. And you still got Bone Party in hand. You right now got 3 more cards, so you got 7 cards in your hand. So there are 2 things you can do with Bone Party. You either just leave it, but it's a waste, so you don't do this. You go Bone Party, pop the combined, and now you search one of those 2, depending on your personal opinion. The reason to add Goblin is it protects your Memento cards from being targeted. And the reason to add Sleepy is on your opponent's turn you can also add Goblin with it, with the Twin Dragon, right? So I would rather go into this just to make your board a little bit protected. But you can use whatever you want. So you now just shuffle back. Not this one. Those 5. Or you can also, theoretically, if you want to leave the Anguish engraved, this is engraved by the way, you add a Sleepy instead of Goblin, and then just shuffle back those 5. Also works. It's just depending on your opinion, or on your personal opinion. But you don't really need the Anguish in graveyard. Those are the most important cards you want in your graveyard for the end board. And Anguish is good, but those 2 are 100% better than the Anguish. So let's just say we did like this. We shuffle back those 5. They are in graveyard, and you can summon combined. And we are in the average Memento game state, SP pass. But in this case, there's a Herald and a 5k beat stick. I don't know what it does on the board. So as you can see, Sleepy is by far the best starter in combination with Endname. You cannot say anything different. This is by far the best normal summon in the deck if you got another name, obviously. Obviously, this card does nothing on its own, but with any Memento name, you have got full combo. And the cool thing is, this plus a Memento name that is already combo itself, like one of those, is even more insane. Like if you go Tatsu effect to special and your opponent imperms it on the effect, you can just normal Sleepy and go full combo. It's a great extender, it's a great normal summon, it's a great starter. There's nothing bad about this card. This card is probably the best main deck card of this deck if there wouldn't be Fusion. So yeah, if you have not considered yet to play 3 Sleepy, definitely do it. It's the best monster in this deck probably. This video is already quite long, but I think when we're already at 35 minutes right now. So the last combo I want to show you is Mace plus any name. The worst name obviously. And you go normal Mace effect obviously. And then you will go into you can either obviously grab any of those because they all extend your combo. If you go Tatsu, you can go into Creation King or what's it called, or Twin Dragon, but Twin Dragon doesn't get you anything because you already normal summoned, you already used Sleepy, you already used Tatsu to special summon. So you will just go into Creation King because you got the name in your hand, so it works. So you use this because you don't want to use those early, right? So you send a Gatic and a Sleepy. Gatic will trigger, rebond the Sleepy special summon. You go into Creation King. Creation King will trigger, but obviously this combo is insanely worse. If this gets like stopped, you just pass. So in this scenario, you need to dump Akihiron, obviously the field spell, the Creation King, sorry, and a fusion because there's no way to pop anything for you to play further. So you go Creation King at the field spell. And then you need to go fusion. If this gets ashed, you're screwed. I mean, you can still go special combined and pass, but there's nothing in rotation. Nothing. You pop it. And you add a Bone Party. You can also just add a fusion instead. And just go into Twin. Because in this combo, you will see that there's a lack of like cards. Because you already use Mace. And Mace is not like there right now. So in this scenario, let's just add fusion, just for the case of like showing, and the Fierce will trigger as well as the Akihiron. You reborn the Akihiron, you will reborn the Sleepy, and then you go into fusion. Get rid of this. Actually, I think we. Nah, let's just go like this. So you don't use Fitwell, you just use Akiron, so you shuffle back. I already shuffled back, right? Oh yeah, I shuffled back too. I shuffled back the Mace and what's it called? Did I shuffle back something else? I'm just like lagging right now. I shuffled back Mace. No, I didn't shuffle anything else back, right? We went this into this. No. We didn't shuffle back anything else, so let's just shuffle back the Gaddick. Going for Twin Dragon. Twin Dragon triggers. To add Dark Blade, and you already used this. So you go Dark Blade, and then now the Mace. You just shuffle back. And then the field spell and the Twin Dragon will trigger. The field spell will reborn the Sleepy. The Twin will reborn the Sleepy, and the field spell will special summon the Dark Blade from hand. You go Dark Blade here, pop this, special out an Anguish, and then you go Sleepy effect, sending a Goblin, and then you go Anguish, pop this, special Goblin. You could also then you use the Akira now here to grab back the fusion. And then you can use your Goblin to pop itself, for example, and just send a Bone Party because there's no Bone Party in rotation right now. And a second Anguish, so you got a second one in rotation. And then you just link those two off for a SP, and then you just special summon combined by shuffling back 5, which are those 5 in this scenario, or rather these 5. You want the Twin Dragon in the extra deck. So basically it's also full combo, but it's weird for combo, right? There's no Herald here. Same thing again. If there would be a Horned Dragon in your list, instead of adding the Maze, you just add Horned, not using the Goblin, special the Horned, and then make Herald plus SP works. But the problem with Horned, you may think if you just watched the video that your combos get better with Horned, which is true, because your safe arrays can still end on anything you want, even the worst combos like normal summon Mace, right? It works. So the idea behind not playing Horned is the card does nothing on its own. Yeah, Sleepy does nothing on its own, but Sleepy in combination is a crazy card, as I showed and told you. And Horned doesn't really helps you going second. It's just a brick in the hand that cannot play, and even Horned plus a name is not combo. The only Horned plus name combo you can play is if the other name combo is a card. You understand what I mean? Like a playable card, like Anguish, Darkblade, Goblin. And it's mostly just win more. And the idea behind popping Horned on your opponent's turn with Bone Party or anything else and popping 2 cards of them, it's crazy. It's a good interruption, but you just don't want to break with the stack. And I'm gonna be honest, I was never in a scenario since I'm playing without Horned, that I ever wished for Horned. The only reason why I played Horned so long is because I never played without it, and I didn't know how to adapt like my combo lines and stuff like that without the Horned. That's why I played Horned at Nationals and stuff like that. But now, if you can play around Horned, you don't really need it. You don't wish for it. I would never wish for it in any point of scenario. Even if sometimes your combo gets easier, it's an extender sometimes. And also Horned plus access code is OTK. But I think playing the Horned is a little bit win more. Even it makes the combo easier. It's like a quality of life card if you want like that. It just makes your life easier, but not your deck better. You know what I mean? So I think if you just watch my deck profile, you can just play the same 40, but just add a Horn to go 41. I think it will work if you really want to play Horn Dragon, but I can definitely recommend you to try and cut it, and you will see that you will probably never wish for it. Also, by the way, in the current meta, Horned into boards is insanely bad. You just pop it. You try to pop 2 cards of your opponent. Mitsu will dodge it or have protection. Yami will dodge it, or with a Synchro Summon, or they dodge. Or it just will not trigger because there's a Herald. The field spell from Yami can summon from deck, which punishes you. So there's a lot of ways where the Horned going second will not do anything and will just be stuck to your hand and not doing anything. So that's the reason for Horned. And another reason to not play Horned, this guy did not get a rarity bump, same as Goblin, in the tin. That's the second reason to not play Horned. But yeah, that's it. If you have any questions for the combo or any ideas to make the combos a little bit better without Horned Dragon, be free to text me anything in the comments or ask me any questions in the comments. I'll try to answer or react to anything you write down in the comments, as always. If you want to follow me anywhere or like text me, you can just join the Discord, linked into the description, or follow me on Twitter. I will just link both in the description. And yeah, that's for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.